is the only free time I get. So I'm going to talk to you about inspiration. And I've had a lot of trouble with it as far as my life goes.
Daddy!
You can see why. But I wanted to take the time out of my... Can you please... Thank you. Okay, I wanted to take the time to explain what I think is important. I recently posted an inspirational video on my channel in the hopes that people would see it and react to it, and I'm talking like this because I actually was doing this a long time during the day, and now I'm talking like this for no reason. I just can't get to stop. I can't. It's like I was talking British with Ian when I was doing multiplayer, right? I was doing that, and I just got stuck in the British accent, and I couldn't stop it. Now I'm having the same problem. I think I'm talking Southern, but I don't know. Anyway, the whole point of it is to basically share with you. I wanted to do a shout out to teachers. I don't know if they're ever going to see it. I don't know if they're ever going to watch my channel. I can sure as hell try to get them to come and look at this video and see that they mean something to me. They did a good job. I don't know. I could try, but I'm going to just shout out their names, so hopefully that one day when they do end up seeing this, or if I do rise to fame, that they see this video, they come back on my channel and they see this video and they go, thank you for mentioning me. I thought I did a great job. Thank you for actually recognizing me. I am honored that somebody took the time out of their day to talk about how I taught, and it just I hope it honors you that I'm mentioning you guys. I hope you feel good about yourselves because you guys deserve a pat on the back. A couple of teachers actually did the extra, not just trying to educate me, but I went to a school for 5 years, let's say. I went to a school designed entirely around everything that I struggled with so that I'd do nothing but get good grades. For 5 years, I stood in front of a class after working for primarily most of the day on a project about something that I wanted to do. And we did this every month. And it was the same old. And we just get in front of class and practice our speech skills for 5 years. All of the students would get up and they'd do their own little project. Sometimes they'd be partners. And you get a time of the day completely slotted or basically dedicated to you doing this project. Dedicated to you spending your time on this so-called independent studying, and you would learn whatever you wanted. They give you a category, let's say it's pop culture, and you'd go and you'd pick something that falls under that category, like maybe you say, this is a very crude example, I wouldn't choose this myself, but it's the first thing that popped into my mind. You get this subject, pop culture, so some of the girls in the class, one of the girls in the class will decide, oh, hey, I'm going to do Katy Perry, and then they go and they search up Katy Perry and do all the biography and all the this and that, and then they put together a project with a PowerPoint or some sort of other visual. They'll make Katy Perry out of Play-Doh. It doesn't really freaking matter, but there's a visual involved, and there was this whole long process to make this project, and you would do it every month, and it would be something new every time under a random category and whatever. So you'd be making these projects, and it was dedicated to some special ed students who needed one-on-one time. Now the classes, as far as advisory classes, that was where you spend all your project time. You'd come back to your advisory. It was kind of like high school, where in the morning you'd go to your advisory class. I can't remember, actually. I don't remember the schedule. I think in the morning you'd go to your first block, which was just science. It was dedicated to science, math, English, or something that they would choose prerequisite for you. So they'd choose that for you. And then you'd be assigned these blocks, and you'd be in the class with a certain amount of people. And this is where I met most of the teachers that actually made a difference. I'm going to list them by name. The first one I had for 2 years. not only did she teach me English, but she helped me understand what it's like to, write. She gave me most of my I actually had fun in her class. I liked to write. I liked to do all sorts of story, and she saw a lot of potential in me, and she brought that crap out of me, and she showed me just how important my writing was and what it sounded like, and she said, wow, it's really quite advanced. You could use a little push in the right direction, and after that you should be writing, novels if you want to do that kind of thing. That kind of positivity really brought out a smile on my face, and I'm sorry I'm talking like this, but her name was, I think it was Dawn, first name, and the last name is Gustafson. So I shout out to you for being a great English teacher and really putting me in a position where I wanted to learn. I went from not caring one whit about school because I kept getting moved every once in a while, to going and actually liking learning and coming back with great stories at home saying I was really doing awesome. My grades weren't perfect, but hey, they were better than what I was doing the years and years before it. I'm clicking this pen, by the way. She was the first on my list that really spoke out to me and showed me what it's like to be a good teacher and to go to school and dedicate your life to teaching people. In the way she taught was getting kids who don't care one whit about school to actually care and have fun doing it and have fun learning and finding ways to connect learning to it. And there was all these activities that she was in charge of, and it just made the day better and better for me. And so shout out to her. She's a great teacher. She also got me into that We Didn't Start the Fire song because it's pretty fun, and the American Pie. Those were her two favorites. She brought them up at one point, but it's been so long I kind of forgot what that was all about. But after school and stuff, I'd get really connect and talk about her and stuff and talk to her and, say what I was having trouble with, and she'd be there, she'd be listening, and she'd, give me all these pointers. So shout out to you, but since we're running on out of time, I'm going to have to keep going. So next person is Mr. Grimmiser, Mr. G. There were two G's. This was back in 5th, 6th grade, I believe. He was the reading teacher, but he seconded as English, so it was kind of a mix between English and reading. I think at one point I did have both of them at the same time. And he would read us a story, and then we'd listen to it, and then we'd do tests on it. And then we'd read along with him, and he'd have other people read occasionally as well. The books he chose were pretty fun, except for the one, I can't remember what it was called, but it was about this kid who, The Hatchet, that's what it was called. I didn't like that book. But the other books were awesome that he read, and everything that he did was awesome. He was funny. He was smart. He was always nice, kind. Whenever he'd talk to me, he'd do it with a smile on his face, and he'd always show me what I was doing. And when it came to professionally, when my parents were talking with him, they really seemed to connect with him as well. He did a fantastic job as a reading teacher, and I can say nothing but good things about him, but since I'm running low on time again, that was a quick shout out to him. And the best comes last. The next English teacher, I guess I had a connection with English teachers. It was something about those English teachers. This teacher actually got me into a really great series, Percy Jackson. This teacher also, at the beginning of the year, put together a whole PowerPoint dedicated to Greek mythology, which is my, still to this day, favorite subject I've ever actually gotten to listen to and study. And I know all about that crap now, so it's great that I got to hear it, and I knew how to pronounce all the gods' names and whatever, and people have trouble with this and that, and I'm just like sitting there going, yep, I know about that, yep, I know about... This teacher also did a lot of other things. I think she seconded with the drama club, so she was in charge of that, and I just would end up talking to her most of the time during that time slot. And but anyway, she was a great teacher. Her name was Miss Mendoza. I forgot her first name. Miss Mendoza. And she was nice. She was kind. She always would give me compliments, always would say that my work was fantastic, always would again, encouraged me and put me in the right direction and just did a fantastic job. So shout out to you. Keep doing what you were doing with me. It's really working, I think, in my opinion, and I think it should be working for anybody else in your class too. I think everybody would agree that you were a good teacher, Miss Mendoza. Okay. The last one before I get to the best one. Let's see how we are on time. Oh, 5 minutes. That sucks. The last one that I can remember, because I think I had 5, but there might be one I'm forgetting. But the last one before the best one, you're gonna love this. The second to best one, I think a lot of people, some people that I was talking to said he was really tough and strict and would yell a lot and crap like that, but I never got that side of him. So I don't know what kind of drugs those kids were on, because I never got, when I was in his class, he'd always connect with me and talk to me and be nothing but nice and cheery and cool, and would always say, I like your shoes, or stuff like that. The simple things that would really bring out, oh, I like your class now because you're awesome. So, and then he'd have this little game because he was a golf person. So he had this little game where we'd pick someone that we thought would win, and we'd get points towards our end of the year grade if we got it right, based on entirely on luck for how the golfers did. So we just choose 2 random golfers and see how well they did, and that's how many points we got. I can't remember how many points we got exactly, but it was like the PGA or whatever. And then we actually did some extracurricular activity with Mr. Kyer. It was this golf place, and we all would be the people who would hold up the signs and whatever. It was a great experience. I liked it. The first day I went home because I was dehydrated, though. But the second day I really pedaled to the metal and went all the way through it. I had to pee every time, because I had the bladder of a little girl at that point. But it was a really fun experience, and being in his science class was really fun, and I really understood a lot about it, and all of the projects that we did in his class, the mini projects, and everything about his class made sense, and it was just an awesome class. So, quick shout out to Mr. Kyer. Keep doing what you're doing. And apparently the other students didn't like it when you were yelling or whatever. I don't really I never experienced you yelling at all, in my opinion. I didn't hear it. If you did, I ignored it completely. So unfortunately, I didn't ever get to see that side of you. And if I did, I mistakenly forgot, or probably purposely forgot, or I don't know. Anyway, whatever side that they didn't like, I was okay with. I didn't care one whit about it, because you were making me learn and doing it in a way that I understood and had fun with. So in that case, I give props to you. You did a good job. Pat yourself on the back. You did an awesome job as a teacher. Now, yeah, we only have 2 minutes left, so I'm unfortunately going to have to say this quickly, or in another part or something. But my last favorite teacher, I have to say this quickly, but I could do a whole video on him, so I'm probably going to do that in a while. But as a reminder, my favorite teacher, I'm going to dedicate another video to you. You just wait, because you only got the last 2 minutes of it, and I don't think that's fair, because you did a lot to make me actually understand the subject of math. And for someone to do that to me, I mean, it doesn't sound like it's all too important to people like whoever's going to be watching this video in the future. It doesn't seem all that important, and oh, cool, he taught you math. That's a really great, accomplishment. Good for you. I hate math, absolutely, positively can't stand math. And for someone to actually make it fun, make me want to learn, make me have fun learning it, incorporating games about math, showing you all the cool things you could do with it, and taking the time out of his day during project time to spend 30 minutes of just me working on random problems that I was having trouble with until I got it and it stuck. And he was an awesome, great, inspirational, truly magnificent, laid-back teacher, and his name is Mr. Mayer. And we have 1 minute, so you get an extra 1 minute. Good for you. But if you ever see this, I can't tell you how much I thank you for all the work you did, and you truly were an inspiration. Which is why I sort of wanted to become a teacher, to work with kids on their strong points. And you had a certain charm about you that made me want to, learn instead of just sit there and go, I don't care, I'll fail, I don't care. But you actually made me want to learn math. Give this teacher a Nobel Peace Prize because he made me want to learn math. Nobody in the history of ever in my life has ever quite stood up to even close to what you did in that school for me, math-wise. You really did it. You did a great job when it came to math at your level, at the way you were teaching it to everybody. I bet everybody can agree. Whatever you were doing it good. You were doing it right. We'd have all sorts of bets. We'd have a laugh. His class was lots of fun. Every time we were in it, we had a blast and learned math at the same time and understood it and stuff. I don't know how. 11 seconds, great. That really went far. But anyway, just a shout out to Mr. Mayor. You were truly an inspiration, and I respect the crap out of you. So pat yourself on the back and